All right, guys, some big news coming out of the North American League of Legends scene today. This is just a couple of minutes ago. Official from Sheep Esports on Twitter saying that Disguised and mid laner Abbedagge are parting ways as announced by the organization. Obviously, Abbedagge was brought in as into like a more of a budget team and budget roster this year for Disguised, as they hoped, he would be like a rock in the mid lane, a veteran, a guy who has done a lot of winning in both Europe and North America, a guy who would be able to guide this ship of, like I said, a budget roster and a budget project, but still be able to make them somewhat competitive, a nice little economical pickup for them in the mid lane. But obviously that has not worked out necessarily how the team wanted. The team is struggling. Abbedagge has been struggling in the mid lane, and they're deciding now to part ways. This from Arsh on sheepesports.com. LTA News, DSG releases Abbedagge after last place finish in Split 2. Abbedagge was the first change of the LTA North offseason. Disguised, the NACL guest team in the LTA's Northern Conference, has had a tough Tier 1 League of Legends debut. Abbedagge, the team's mid laner, made his triumphant return to the region to try and make an impact on this Moneyball roster. It wasn't long, though, because it became clear that the roster simply wasn't working. At the end of Split 3, regardless of their placement within the league, DSG will have to play a relegation tournament, and that's what is the big important thing here with the top teams from the NACL. Without serious changes, it's clear that teams like Dark Zero, Dragonsteel, Luminosity, and Near Airport would be serious threats to DSG's chances to retain its LTA North slot. So, obviously any new team, especially a team with a tight budget, they're going to have growing pains. They're going to struggle at the beginning, but this is a team that has more urgency and more agency than most new teams to actually make roster changes right away once they see things aren't working, because like it says, they do have that relegation tournament to play at the end of the year, and if they do end up getting relegated after finally making it to the LTA, that would be very, very bad for the Disguised organization. Honestly, could be the end of the Disguised organization as well. So it is very, very important that they are constantly trying to make their team better and constantly trying to find the right pieces that are going to fit into place to actually make this team competitive enough to win some games in the LCS, obviously, but also just to be able to beat those top teams from the NACL, like they say in this article here. So we did get this tweet from, Disguise themselves, where they said, today we are announcing the release of Abbedagge. We appreciate the commitment Felix made to joining DSG, and he holds an integral part of our LTA journey. We wish him good luck in his future endeavors. And they do say in this article as well that statistically, Abbedagge was one of the worst performing players in the league, which again is a far, far drop off from the player he was a couple of years ago, both in the LCS and in the LEC. He had the lowest overall rating per Sheep stats of any mid laner this year. Even on lower ranked teams like Lion and Dignitas, the average level of play in the mid lane has grown significantly stronger in the league. Over the course of the split, his individual mistakes were too significant for the team to overcome. Now DSG will have to rebuild as they look ahead to Split 3. And again, here's some of those Sheep stats where they had him ranked as the worst mid laner in the LTA North, 7th in CS per minute, 8th in KDA, 6th in kill participation, 4th in vision score, but it was obviously not cutting it, and now Disguise is looking to make a change. So I would definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on who you hope that they pick up, what you think is next for Abbedagge. Is he going to end up back in the ERL? Is he going to end up coaching? Is he going to end up out of League of Legends altogether? I don't know. It's going to be very interesting, but the LTA North and I'm sure the LEC offseason a little bit is now underway, and there should be plenty of more moves to come in the near future. So make sure you guys keep checking in here on the Sheep Esports YouTube channel and on sheepesports.com for all of the latest news. Of course, everything we do here is powered by Holy, great tasting energy drinks that also just so happen to be healthier in the competition. Check out the first link in the description below for a nice little discount on Holy using SE5 or SE10, and obviously those codes help support everything we're doing here as well. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.